Before you were chasing Pikachus on your smartphone, we were capturing Pokemon on our Gameboys. Pokemon! Still don't know what Pokemon is? Where you been? Under a rock for the last 25 years? This rock? Get out of here! That's a Pokemon.
Oh yeah, mate. That's Rocky Doodle Mouse, the water-type Pokemans.
Developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo in February 1996, Pokemon started life in Japan under the title Pocket Monsters and was released exclusively for the Nintendo Game Boy. Originally released in its two separate versions, Red and Green, with a third revised version being released in October of the same year, under the title of Pocket Monsters Blue. The games were so commercially successful in Japan that Nintendo decided to localize the Blue version, which was released in September 1998 in North America and October 1999 in Europe, again splitting this version into two separate games under the titles of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. A later revised version would be released under the title of Pokemon Yellow, which loosely follows the events of the anime, but is essentially the same game as the previous versions, with only minor changes. Pokemon is a role-playing game where the goal is to obtain 8 gym badges by defeating the 8 gym leaders on your quest to becoming the Pokemon champion. The side quest and quite possibly the most appealing part of the game is completing your Pokédex by collecting all 151 Pokemon. This, however, is impossible by playing one game alone, as you'll need at least 2 different versions of the game and a link cable to complete your decks. Although a fantastic idea, when I was a child the only kid who had a link cable was a creepy quiet kid who would only let you use his link cable if you succumbed to his ridiculous demands. Hey, I'll trade you my Weedle for an Articuno. Well, now I'm an adult and I have no friends, this is my journey with Pokemon Blue. As I try to answer, is Gen 1 overrated? I know I haven't mentioned that yet, but I didn't want to make this video clickbait. I begin my journey by naming my character Hoax, and of course Oak can't remember his grandson's name. I remind him that his name is Noob, and I begin my adventure. I withdraw the potion from my PC and I try to make a run for it, but at the last moment, Oak stops me and tells me how it's dangerous to go alone. I mean, without Pokemon, how does anyone do anything in this town? So he leads me back to his lab and tells me to pick a Pokemon. Noob listening to this gets all jealous that I get to pick first. But guess what, Noob? I'm giving you the advantage, so shut up. Naturally, I pick Squirtle because, reasons. And my quest can begin. So I beat Noob, steal his money and head straight to the Pokemon Mart, where I'm told I need to deliver a package to Oak. Well, Mr. Amazon here gets the parcel to Oak in a timely manner, and he gives me the Pokédex, which I basically ignore for this whole run. Like, I literally ignore it. Noob gets all indignant with me about a town map, so naturally I go speak to his sister, and she gives me one anyway. From there, I walk all the way back to the mart where I buy 10 Pokeballs, 2 antidotes, and 3 Paralyze heals. I then capture a Pidgey and a Nidoran male. After bitch slapping my rival again, and raising all of my Pokemon to level 10, I feel it's time to tackle Viridian Forest. Now that I'm here, I grab the antidote from the tree and I pick up the hidden Pokeball on the side of the map. I then go to face the trainers in this area. The first bug catcher starts the fight with a Weedle, which I take down with ease, leading my Squirtle to grow to level 11. His second Pokemon Caterpie I one-hit KO with Nidoran. The second fight goes much the same, except this time the bug catcher Weedle poisons Squirtle, who I cure almost immediately after the battle. After finding yet another antidote and a potion, I fight the final bug catcher with his level 9 Weedle. After leaving the forest, I grind a little until all of my Pokemon reach level 12, and then it's time to challenge the first gym. Inside the gym, I begin my fight with the junior trainer, who battles me with a Diglett and a Sandshrew, which I quickly take down using Squirtle, where I spam the move Bubble. I use a similar tactic with Brock, the gym leader, and as much of the battle so far in this run, I take him out quite quickly as well, leading me to obtain my first badge. So with Boulder badge in hand, I heal my Pokemon in the Pokemon Center and I head towards Route 3. I battle my way through all of the trainers, where the only fight I had a problem with was with Lass and her Jigglypuff, as she kept putting my Pokemon to sleep. After finally defeating her, I grind until all of my Pokemon reach level 16. Where Squirtle evolved into Wartortle and Nidoran evolved into Nidorino. From there, I make my way through Mount Moon, fighting literally a million Zubat. I find a Moonstone, which I use to evolve Nidorino into Nidoking, and I choose the Dome Fossil. Outside, I catch a Sandshrew, which I quickly deposit into the PC and grind all of my Pokemon to level 20. I thought now would be a good time to face my rival on Nugget Bridge, just north of Cerulean City. He begins the fight with a level 18 Pidgeotto, which I take down with Wartortle. Then he uses a level 15 Abra, and both of our attacks keep failing. Due to Abra's teleport not working in trainer battles and Wartortle's accuracy being lowered due to Pidgeotto's sand attack, after about 10 turns I take him down using Water Gun. Noob then finally uses a level 15 Rattata, where I switch out Wartortle for Nidoking, winning using Horn Attack. Finally switching out to Pidgeotto, I defeat his Bulbasaur using a Quick Attack. My rival tells me about Bill the Pokemaniac and I make my way across the Nugget Bridge. After making my way across the Nugget Bridge and defeating the final trainer, I catch a Bellsprout for my party and I fail to catch an Abra. I fight all of the trainers and get to Bill's house, and after helping him he gives me the ticket for the SS Anne. After returning to Cerulean and healing once more, I go and face the second gym leader, Misty. Misty starts with a level 18 Staryu, where Weeping Bell crits and one-hit KOs using Vine Whip, which leads him to grow to level 22. Misty's second Pokemon is a level 21 Starmie, but is no match for Weeping Bell, where he levels up again to level 23. I obtain the second badge and TM11 Bubble Beam, which I teach to Wartortle replacing Tackle. After defeating the Rocket Grunt just outside of the town, I obtain Dig, which I also teach to Wartortle. I do a little bit more grinding by the daycare centre and catch Meowth. I walk through the underground tunnel and I fight all the trainers until I reach Vermilion City. Once there, I fight all of the trainers on Route 11 and head towards the SS Anne. Once aboard, I make my way through the ship where I find Noob once again. This time he has a level 19 Pidgeotto, a level 16 Raticate, a level 18 Kadabra and a level 20 Ivysaur. At this stage of the game I am so overpowered that I have little to no problem taking out all of his Pokemon, using only my Pidgeotto. I go and rub the captain's back and he gives me HM1, which I teach to Weeping Bell, thus leaving the SS Anne just in time to watch it sail away. Using Cut I gain access to the third gym, where it took me far too long to solve the silly switch puzzle. Even as a child this puzzle would literally confuse me. If anyone has a reliable solution to this, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to know. After spending what feels like a decade to solve, I am finally granted access to Lieutenant Surge. He begins the battle with a level 21 Voltorb, which I take down using Meowth, and Meowth grows to level 27. Surge then uses a level 18 Pikachu. I switch out for Nidoking and one-hit KO him using Thrash. Surge finally uses a level 24 Raichu, which Nidoking finishes off, securing me the Thunder Badge. He gives me the TM for Thunderbolt, which I teach to Meowth, and I leave the gym. I make my way through Diglett Cave and get the HM for Flash. From there I head across Route 9 fighting every trainer, along with a little bit more grinding when Meowth grows to level 28, evolving into a Persian. I then make my way to Rock Tunnel. Well, Rock Tunnel was easy and I end up in Lavender Town, but without the Sylph Scope I can't do anything here yet, so I head left. I end up in Celadon City, where I make a beeline straight to get myself an Eevee. I then go to the market where I buy a Fire and a Leaf Stone. I use the Leaf Stone to evolve Weeping Bell into Victory Bell, and the Fire Stone to evolve Eevee into Flareon. I also go to the top floor and buy a cup of fresh water. I go to the game corner and into the Rocket hideout. I again didn't find this very difficult and wasn't long before I was facing off against Giovanni. He starts a fight with a level 25 Onyx, which Wartortle makes light work of. He then uses a level 24 Rhyhorn, who again can't even get a chance to attack before Wartortle takes him out. Giovanni finishes off with a level 29 Kangaskhan, where you guessed it, Wartortle takes it out with little issue. So I beat Giovanni and I take the Sylph Scope. And now it's time to face the fourth gym leader, Erica. Starting with her level 29 Victory Bell, I use Ember with Flareon and Victory Bell counters with a Wrap, leaving me unable to attack for 3 turns. I come back with another Ember which lowers the HP to nearly 0. This is when Erica uses a Super Potion. I counter once more with an Ember and I'm wrapped again. Once more I Ember and I beat Erica's first Pokemon, with Flareon growing to level 34. Next Erica uses a level 24 Tangler. I use Ember twice and Tangler goes down. Finally Erica uses a level 29 Vileplume. And again, after 2 Embers, Erica is defeated and I secure the 4th badge and TM21, Mega Drain, which I teach to Victory Bell. I head left and obtain the HM for Fly and I teach it to Pidgeotto. Next I head back towards Lavender Town and into the Pokemon Tower. I quickly confront Noob again and our fight is underway. Using a level 25 Pidgeotto, a level 23 Gyarados, a level 22 Growlithe, a level 20 Kadabra, and finally a level 25 Ivysaur, I take them all out using Nidoking, using only the move Thrash. I make my way through the tower and I defeat Marowak. I get the Poke Flute and make my way back to Celadon City, where I use the flute to wake up Snorlax. I try multiple times to capture him, but after a while I give up and just finish him off. I end up on Cycling Road, where Wartortle evolves into Blastoise and Pidgeotto evolves into Pidgeot. I skip ahead to Fuchsia City, where I head straight for the gym. Making my way through the maze, I reach Koga and our epic face-off begins. He starts off with a level 37 Coughing, then a level 39 Muck, then another level 37 Coughing, and finally a level 43 Wheezing, all of which I take down easily enough, where I'm given the 5th badge. So from there I go to the Safari Zone and I get completely lost. I mean, it has been 20 years since I've played this game, but after much persistence I find the Golden Tooth and the HM for Surf. I teach Surf to Blastoise. I take the Golden Tooth to the person here and he gives me the HM for Strength, who I teach to Nidoking. I use Strength in the same house to get a rare candy. I fly back to Cerulean and make my way towards Saffron City. I go straight to the fighting dojo, where I fight my way through the black belts until I reach the black belt champion. He begins to fight with a level 37 Hitmonlee and then a level 37 Hitmonchan. Both of his Pokemon doesn't last very long, as I use Nidoking and take them both down with ease. After the battle, I get to choose one of his Pokemon. As I always have, I go with Hitmonchan and I leave the dojo. I go to Silph and I get lost. I get Lapras and I fight Noob once more. This time he has a level 37 Pidgeot, which I take out with a Mega Punch using Blastoise, a level 38 Gyarados, which I didn't realise the move Dig didn't work on, so I switch out for Persian, where I use Thunderbolt and it one-hit KOs him. He then uses a Growlithe, so I switch back to Blastoise and take him out with a single Bubble Beam. Noob then uses a level 35 Alakazam, which I one-hit KO using the move Dig, and finally he uses a level 14 Venusaur, so I switch out for Flareon and take him down relatively quickly using Ember. So with Noob defeated once more, I started to realise how easy the first gen of Pokemon really is. I remember this game being a lot more difficult than it was, but obviously that's looking through the eyes of a child, as by this point all of my Pokemon are capable enough to tackle almost every trainer or wild Pokemon. So I find myself facing off against Giovanni once again. He starts with a level 37 Nidorino. I start with a Mega Drain using Victory Bell, and of course it isn't very effective, so I spam the move Wrap and he soon goes down. Next Giovanni uses a level 35 Kangaskhan. After using Mega Drain, I finish him off using Wrap again. Next I'm fighting a level 37 Rhyhorn, who goes down easily enough with just yet another Mega Drain. And finally he uses a level 41 Nidoqueen, so I switch out my Nidoking and use the move Earthquake, and Giovanni has been defeated again. So I grab the Master Ball and make my way to the 6th gym. After making my way through the maze, I seem to be using the term maze a lot, I challenge Sabrina, the psychic gym leader. Starting with a level 38 Kadabra, I attack with an Earthquake which takes him down in one hit. Next she uses a level 37 Mr. Mime, which I take down easily enough. Next she uses a level 38 Venomoth. I switch to Pidgeot and use Fly, which takes him out. And finally she uses a level 43 Alakazam. I switch to Victory Bell and quite quickly get knocked out, adding to the first loss of my run. So I switch to Nidoking and revive Victory Bell. Nearly losing Nidoking as well, I managed to prevail using the move Thrash, and now I have the 6th gym badge. From there I fly to Pallet Town and make my way down to Cinnabar Island. When I get to Cinnabar Island I go to the Pokemon Mansion, which is quite easy to be fair. From there I head straight to the gym and I fight with Blaine. Blaine causes me no trouble at all, as I use Blastoise to take out all of his Pokemon within 1 or 2 turns, and I secure the 7th badge. From there I fly to Viridian to take on the 8th and final gym leader, Giovanni. When I reach him, I again have no problem taking him down, and I secure the 8th and final badge. On my way to Victory Road, Noob challenges me. This time, he's sporting a level 47 Pidgeot, which Flareon takes out with a Fire Blast, a level 45 Rhyhorn, which Nidoking takes out with a single Water Gun, a level 45 Gyarados, which Persian takes out with a Thunderbolt, a level 47 Growlithe, which Blastoise takes out with a Bubble Beam, a level 50 Alakazam, which Persian takes out with a Body Slam, and finally a level 53 Venusaur, which Flareon takes out with a Fire Blast. Another battle won, and I make my way to the Elite Four. I make my way through Victory Road and the grand finale has begun. First up is Lorelei, who starts the battle with a level 54 Dugong. After a couple of Thunderbolts, I pass her first Pokemon. Next she uses a level 53 Cloyster, where another couple of Thunderbolts takes him down. Next is a level 54 Slowbro, who takes another 2 Thunderbolts to take down. Next is a level 56 Jinx, where I had to change my tactics and use Body Slam. And finally is a level 56 Lapras. I start with a Body Slam which paralyzes Lapras, who counters with a Hydro Pump, completely wiping out my Persian. I switch to a Victory Bell who attacks with a Solar Beam, but when Lapras uses Blizzard, is knocked out as well. Finally, I switch to Nidoking and finish off Lapras with Strength. The second Elite Four member is Bruno, who starts the fight with a level 53 Onix. I start with Victory Bell and use Solar Beam, taking out Onix. Next he uses a level 55 Hitmonchan. I attack again with a Solar Beam, taking out Hitmonchan just as quickly as he decided to fight. Next, Bruno uses a level 55 Hitmonlee. Guess what? I use Solar Beam again and Hitmonlee is defeated. Next he uses a level 56 Onyx. And can you guess what I'm going to say next? Of course, I use Solar Beam and Onyx is toast. Finally, Bruno uses a level 58 Machamp, and after using Solar Beam again, Machamp counters with a submission, knocking Victory Bell out. I switch out for Blastoise and attack using Blizzard, and then dig twice and a Bubble Beam and I secure the win. The third Elite Four member is Agatha, and she begins with a level 56 Gengar. He tries to use a Hypnosis, which doesn't affect Victory Bell, and I counter with a Solar Beam, which isn't very effective. You may have noticed that my type advantage skills are not the greatest. I quickly switch to Nidoking, where Gengar uses Confuse Ray and I hurt myself in confusion. Eventually I use Earthquake and knock Gengar out. Next she uses a level 56 Golbat, who she quickly switches out for a level 55 Haunter when I switch for Persian. So I switch out for Nidoking and use Earthquake, taking her Haunter down. She then switches her Golbat out and I switch back to Persian. After using the Thunderbolt, Golbat is down for the count. Next she uses a level 58 Arbok. I persist by using Body Slam while Agatha uses Super Potions, and after around 4 turns, Arbok is destroyed as well. Finally, she uses a level 60 Gengar. So I switch out for Nidoking, where I am confused again, leading me to hurt myself once more. Although it doesn't matter, as I use Earthquake and Agatha is defeated. The fourth and final elite member is Lance. He starts with a level 58 Gyarados. He uses a Hyper Beam on my Persian, nearly knocking him out. I counter with a Thunderbolt and take out his first Pokemon. Next he uses a level 56 Dragonair, who uses Dragon Rage, which knocks Persian out. I switch out for Flareon and use a Fire Blast and it burns Dragonair. After using Double Edge, I take down Dragonair. Next Lance uses another level 56 Dragonair. I revive Persian and Flareon is knocked out with Slam. I switch to Nidoking and use Thrash. After a couple of turns, Dragonair is knocked out. Next he uses a level 16 Aerodactyl. After becoming confused and missing many turns, I switch for Pidgeot and use Fly, which does very little damage to Aerodactyl. He uses Hyper Beam, which knocks Pidgeot out. I switch to Blastoise and finally take him down using Blizzard. Finally, Lance uses a level 62 Dragonite. I use Blizzard and it takes a decent amount of damage, but he counters with a Hyper Beam, completely destroying Blastoise. I switch out for Nidoking and he uses a Hyper Potion to restore Dragonite's health. I revive Blastoise and use Thrash. This does little to no damage to Dragonite. I switch back to Blastoise and I'm hit by a Hyper Beam again. I counter once more with a Blizzard and I finally win the fight. By far the toughest fight of the game. Now finally I'm about to fight Noob once more and claim my right as the Pokemon Master. In this epic final battle, Noob starts with a level 61 Pidgeot. I switch immediately to Persian and use Thunderbolt. Next he uses a level 59 Alakazam, so I switch out for Nidoking. Alakazam uses Psybeam, nearly taking out Nidoking. I counter with an Earthquake. Alakazam then uses Psychic, knocking Nidoking out. I switch out for Flareon and use Fire Blast, just as Noob uses a full restore on Alakazam. After another Fire Blast, Alakazam is burnt. I crit with my next attack, knocking him down. Noob then uses a level 61 Rhydon, so I switch out for Victory Bell and use Solar Beam. He then uses a level 61 Gyarados, so I switch out for Persian and use Thunderbolt. Next he uses a level 63 Arcanine, so I switch to Blastoise and use Surf and then Bubble Beam. And finally Noob uses a level 65 Venusaur. I switch to Flareon and use Fire Blast, where I'm quickly knocked out. Next I switch to Pidgeot using Fly, ultimately knocking out Noob one last time. And with that, I am the Pokemon champion. So after 19 plus hours, I can finally say that I have beaten Pokemon for the first time in over 20 years. As for the question earlier, is Gen 1 overrated? Well, yes and no. Should you play this game? Not really, as the remakes on the Game Boy Advance did the game much more justice. And I know that if I ever go back to this game, they are the versions that I will pick. I know I gave you only a brief abridged version of my playthrough, but that pretty much sums up Pokemon. Just battling and grinding, and I feel that the later generations did this a lot better. That being said, I still had lots of fun, and I'm glad that I made it to the end. Thanks for watching.